Hello YouTube, and welcome to another TOG Tale Tuesday, a day when I tell some anecdotal story about photography. It's that sunshine, where's that coming from? You know, it's all nice and diffused light, and then the sun just comes out and spoils everything. All the time. What's that about? Anyway, so what story to tell you about today?
Oi!
Yeah?
Tell them the unicorn story.
The unicorn story?
Yeah, you know, the one with the bizarre woman with the bucket. The fairy woman with the bucket that just, you know.
Oh, that story. That story.
Yeah, tell them that one.
Alright then, we'll tell that one. So on a recent trip to a fairy grove with my family, we went to take my daughter to find a real unicorn on some muddy field in the middle of England somewhere. And it was on a farm. It was all set up, you know, going to meet this real unicorn. I mean, obviously it's a gimmick, right?
Oi! I hope you're not saying unicorns don't exist.
No, I would never say that. I would never say that, honestly. I mean, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Unicorns exist. I mean, of course they do. Of course they do.
Let's keep it that way, or else I'll be telling Santa.
So anyway, we're literally in a muddy field in the middle of nowhere. There's a great group of children and parents waiting to go off and find the real unicorn and some fairies. It was freezing cold. It was overcast, dull, a bit drizzly. And I had a 40-minute wait in front of me. So I waved goodbye to my wife and child who'd gone off to find this unicorn and find these fairies in this fairy grove. And I was left, I think I had about a 40-minute wait. Until they got back, till they'd finished the experience, and etc. And I didn't have any of my kit on me at the time. I had my iPhone with me, so I thought I'll go for a walk. Now there was some sparse woodland around, and that was like tons of mud. Now, what had happened was that somebody had made a rudimentary path through this farmland with twigs. And to be honest with you, it wasn't really a path. It was just like it had been formed by Hansel and Gretel. I think that's how bad this path was. Literally hand-laid twigs, you know, end to end, like tiny twigs, like little bits of twig, end to end, to form this path to take me off through this sparse woodland. And I was walking along and thought, well, what am I going to do? What can I do to entertain myself? My mind started wandering and I started looking at compositions. Being a photographer, it kind of happens, you know. So, there'd been lots of muddy tracks left by tractor machinery, big heavy machinery, and obviously they cut grooves through this mud. And it had been raining, as I said, it was raining on and off. And these little the grooves left by the tractor tyres and the tractor wheels, obviously filled up with water. So it was quite interesting. There were one or two interesting compositions to be had. Now I saw one. I saw one composition. It was just off the beaten path. Now this path was basically mud, flanked by more mud. I mean, the only real way that you could tell there was a path there at all was these twigs, these rudimentary twigs that had been laid down. I mean, it just wasn't a path, you know. It was just mud everywhere. And there was this sparse woodland, and I'd walked through it, and I'd seen this little pool, this little tyre track, and it was reflecting some woods in the distance. And there was a bit, you know, there was a composition there to be, but it meant stepping off the path, which I didn't think was going to be too much of a problem. There was nobody about. I was on my own for all intents and purposes. So I saw this scene that would probably offer up a bit of a composition. So I stepped off this path onto this mud to sort of crouch down and sort of form this composition. Like I said, I only had my iPhone with me. It was just an iPhone shot. It was just mud everywhere. Have I mentioned that this path was made of twigs? It was very strange. And I crouched down to get this shot, and as if by magic, in a puff of smoke almost, this woman appeared behind me. It was almost like I'd broken some strange enchantment by stepping off this bizarre path that was made for me. And then this woman just appeared. It's like, I mean, it was fairyland, so fair dues. You know, there were unicorns about and stuff, so I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, really. And she was dressed as a fairy and holding a bucket, I seem to remember. She just appeared from nowhere. I mean, the land around me was like, you know, you could see somebody coming, or even hear somebody come. This woman just appeared. She went, poof, there she was. Very strange. Yeah. Anyway, her opening gambit was, are you all right? Can I ask you what you're doing? To which I replied, well, yeah, of course, if you like. Right, can I ask you to stay on the marked path, please? And then pointed, really sternly, kind of at the path. All of a sudden, I very much felt like I was back in the headmaster's office at primary school, ready to get some telling off for some misdemeanour or other. It was very strange, very bizarre. So I stepped back on the path, and then she continued, right, I'd very much like it if you stayed on the path, please. Now, as I've already discussed, this path was a little bit of a joke. I mean, let's just frame that, shall we? It wasn't a path at all. There was no path, it was just twigs. Hansel and Gretel, you know what I said earlier? I should have taken a photo of it, really. It was laughable. Anyway, at this point, I thought I'd appeal to her better nature. I mean, she was stood there in this fairy outfit holding a bucket. It was very strange. I said, look, just to explain myself, I'm a photographer. I've not got any kit today, but I've got, I'm just taking a photograph with my iPhone. I've seen something, that's kind of interested me. That's all. I literally just stepped off the path, for a couple of seconds. I'll be all of 10 seconds. I'm going to get the shot and then I'll be done. I said, is that okay? Now, this didn't really go down too well. It just seemed to heighten her annoyance, to be honest. And she basically went, well, yes, I like taking photos too, so I understand the pull. Now, can you please stay on the marked path? Now, all of this started to seem a bit absurd. I was now standing back on the path, made of sticks, in this really, standing in a huge, puddle of mud. Nonetheless, I seemed to figure that she was in charge here, and maybe it was her land, I'm not sure. So I did as I was asked. So after I'd moved 3 yards back onto this path, I said to her, so you're a photographer. Have you taken this scene before? And slightly disarmed, she looked past me, down the field, through the woods at the end, and went, just what is it you're photographing anyway? So I replied, well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Hopefully. Yeah, so off she disappeared into the wilderness, and I was left there pretty much as I'd been found, I suppose, standing in a muddy puddle. Kind of minding my own business, in a sense. But I got that shot, and I was happy with that. And then soon after that, my wife and child arrived, having seen said unicorn and fairies, and they were well happy. They'd had a great time. My wife said to me, what have you been doing? So I tried to convey this story that she didn't come across quite as well. I hope it came across fairly well in this one. Very strange thing, very odd. There's just odd moments you have with people. This is one of those odd moments. Very strange indeed, yeah. Anyway, that was my tale for Togtail Tuesday, for this Togtail Tuesday anyway. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've had any bizarre instances with fairies with buckets in muddy fields. Let me know if you've had any strange instances with unicorns. I'd like to hear about those. Yeah, definitely would. I would, seriously. Give me your unicorn stories any day of the week. I'll listen to those. Anyway, do you want to say, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, anyway, let's not worry about him. He's a bit odd. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time, catch you later. Bye for now.
Catch you later.